Hello students, so let's see some properties of ratio. Let's have a recap. If you have A upon B equal to C upon D, then the compound ratio would come out to be AC upon BD. That's compound ratio, multiplying numerators upon denominators. Subduplicate would come out to be root of A upon root of B or root of C upon root of D. Subtriplicate would come out to be cube root of A upon cube root of B. Same way, duplicate would come out to be A by B, and triplicate would come out to be duplicate would come out to be A squared by B squared, triplicate would come out to be A cube by B cube. Compound ratio means to multiply numerators and denominators. Now children, what we need to know here, this question says, if 2a minus x is to b minus 2x, be the subduplicate ratio of a is to b, show that x squared is equal to ab. So in such a sum, children, what we'll do is we'll take 2a minus x upon b minus 2x is equal to root of a upon root of b. That's a condition that they've given us, squaring both sides, children. That's this squared and this squared. So children, we get a upon b is equal to 4a squared minus 4ax plus x squared upon b squared minus 4bx plus 4x squared. We cross multiply, children, so that'll give us ab squared minus 4abx plus 4ax squared is equal to 4a squared b minus 4abx plus, that's bx squared. Now children, bringing all the x squared terms together, that's 4ax squared minus bx squared is equal to 4a squared b minus ab squared. Now children, when we take ab common, children, we get 4a minus b, and now that gives us x squared value from here as ab 4a minus b upon 4a minus b, which cancels to give you ab. So x squared is equal to ab, children. X squared is equal to ab. That's what we have to prove. Now, let's take another example, children. Question says, the wages of a worker in what ratio should the total wages of workers of a factory be increased or decreased if there be a reduction in number of workers in the ratio 15:11, an increment in their wages in the ratio 22:25. So children, we do unitary method for this. We go along with it like this. Now, that's earlier and now, the number of workers were reduced in the ratio 15:11, and the wages were increased in the ratio 22:25. So this product, children, gives us 330, and this gives us to 75, which reduces down to children 6:5. So the wage bill, the final wage bill, which is the product of the number of people, number of workers, and wage per worker. This is the total wage bill. This is the wage bill. Earlier now it's in the ratio. Earlier it was 6, now it's 5. So it's reduced, decreased by ratio of 6:5. Let's see the question, children. Proportion. Now for proportion, children, we have proportion between 4 quantities, that's A upon B equal to C upon D, are in proportion. Just normal proportion, children, where AD is equal to BC, where D is the fourth proportion, and there is something called continued proportion, children, that's A upon B equal to B upon C equal to C upon D equal to D upon E, if A, B, C, D, E are in continued proportion. Then we take it equal to K, children. So accordingly the conclusion we'll get D is equal to EK, C is equal to DK. Striking this out, children, C is equal to DK, but D is already EK, so this becomes EK squared. Similarly, children, B would come out to be EK cube and A would come out to be EK raised to power of 4. Now it depends, children, it can be ABCD, it can be ABCDE, whatever. Accordingly, you come to the conclusion and get your ratio proportionality. Sometimes it's just 3 numbers, that's A upon B equal to B upon C. That gives us the conclusion B squared equal to AC, or B is equal to square root of AC, where C is the third proportion and B, only B is the mean proportion. C is the third proportion and B is the mean proportion. Let's see some examples, to elaborate on that. Question says, what number must be added? What number must be added to numbers 12, 22, 42, 72 so that they become proportional? So children, we start with, let the number be x. Therefore, we get them as 12 plus x upon 22 plus x is equal to 42 plus x upon 72 plus x. Now children, we cross multiply. So this simplifies to 12 times 72. That's 864 plus 12x plus 72x plus x squared is equal to 42 times 22. 924 plus 42x plus 22x plus x squared. X squared cancels, children. This gives us 84x and that gives us 64x. That's 20x remains is equal to 924. 924 minus 864. That's 60. So obviously, children, x comes out to be 3. For this value, the numbers, if you add 3 to all the numbers, they will all become proportional. You can check that, children. It becomes 1525. 15 upon 25 is equal to, that's 3 upon 5 is equal to 45 upon 75, which is multiplied by 15 times 3. 15 times 5. So they're all in ratio of 3 by 5. That's only for understanding. Let's see another example, children. Question says, find the mean proportion to root of 27 minus root 18, root of 27 plus root 18. Now children, according to the formula, we've got b squared equal to ac. That means mean is the mean proportional, that's from here, b squared equal to ac. So b squared equal to ac, which is equal to root of 27 minus root 18 and root 27 plus root 18. That gives us 27, difference of two squares, 27 minus 18, which is 9. Hence, children, the value of b comes out to be plus n minus 3. This is the mean proportion between these two numbers, children. This is an example. Question says, find numbers that the mean proportion between them is 24. And the proportional is is 1536. We begin straight, children, with let the numbers x and y. First condition, children, x upon 24 equal to 24 upon y. That gives us x into y is equal to 24 times 24. 24 squared, children, is 576. So that makes the value of y as 576 upon x. Second condition, children, x upon y equal to y upon 1536. That's x times 1536 is equal to y squared. Now, children, we already have the value of y as 576 times 576 upon x squared. So that gives us, children, the value of x cube as 24 times 24 times 24 times 24 upon 1536. Children, the smaller the value, easier for us to divide. Smaller the value, like 576 squared would be longer to calculate, but this will be shorter for us to calculate. This cancels with this to give us 64. Now 64 cancels with this with 4, that is 6 times with 4, 6 times with 4, 6 times, and 64 becomes 1 because it's 4 times 4 times 4, so it cancels with 4 here, 4 here, 4 here to give you x cube is 6 cubes, so therefore x comes out to be 6, and children, the value of y comes out to be 24 times 24 upon 6, cancels with this to give us 4, so that's 96. So the numbers are, therefore the numbers are 6 and 96. Let's use an example, children. Let's see properties of proportion first, children. For properties of proportion, if you have the numbers as a upon b equal to c upon d by componendo, first by alternando, to alternate, so interchange these two or interchange these two. So that gives us d upon b is equal to c upon a, and this is by alternando. Then by invertendo, to reciprocate, children. Reciprocal would be b upon a is equal to d upon c. That's invertendo. To reciprocate, that's invertendo. By componendo, children, we add to the numerator the denominator. By componendo. By dividendo, children, we subtract it. Numerator minus denominator upon denominator. Numerator minus denominator upon denominator. Dividendo. And by applying both, that's component dividend, children, we get a plus b upon a minus b equal to c plus d upon c minus d. That's by componendo and dividendo. There's another property of ratio, children. You must remember there's another property of ratio, that if a upon b equal to c upon d, it's also equal to a plus c upon b plus d. A plus c upon b plus. It's a property of ratio, children. Please remember that. Let's see some examples of these sums being applied in sums. Question says, using properties of proportion, solve using properties of proportion. That's if y is equal to p plus 1 raised to power of 1/3 plus p minus 1 raised to power of 1/3 upon p plus 1 raised to power of 1/3 minus p minus 1 raised to power of 1/3. Show that y cube minus 3py squared plus 3y minus p equals to 0. So first, children, we'll use component dividend by taking this as y upon 1. So that gives us y plus 1 upon y minus 1 is equal to p plus 1 raised to 1/3 plus p minus 1 raised to 1/3 plus p plus 1 raised to 1/3 minus p minus 1 raised to 1/3 divided by p plus 1 raised to 1/3 plus p minus 1 raised to 1/3 minus p plus 1 raised to 1/3 plus p minus 1 raised to 1/3. This is by componendo dividendo. So in that case, children, this cancels with this cancels with this. You're left with y plus 1 upon y minus 1 is equal to 2 times p plus 1 raised to 1/3 upon 2 times p minus 1 raised to 1/3. This cancels this. Cubing both sides, children. That's cubing both sides. We get y cube plus 3y squared plus 3y plus 1 upon y cube minus 3y squared minus plus 3y minus 1 is equal to p plus 1 upon p minus 1. Again, children, again we have to do component dividendo by componendo and dividendo. It cancels componendo and dividendo. We will get numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is equal to numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator. Minus p, this will cancel, 1 will cancel, minus 1 minus 3y squared plus 3y squared minus y cube plus y cube minus 3y plus 3y. So children, that gives us 2 times y cube plus 3y upon 2 times 3y squared plus 1 is equal to 2 times p upon 2. All the 2's cancel, we cross multiply, children. So we get y cube plus 3y is equal to 3y squared p plus p. Bringing everything on the same side, children, we get y cube minus 3p y squared plus 3y minus p is equal to 0, which was to be proved. Hence proved, children. This is another example of this kind. Question says, children, if x is equal to 4 root 6 upon root 2 plus root 3, find the value of, or evaluate using properties of ratio, of course children, x plus 2 root 2 upon x minus 2 root 2 plus x plus 2 root 3 upon x minus 2 root 3. Once we have this children, we first have to split it up. This children, this is component dividend on x upon 2 root 2 and this is on x by 2 root 3. This is x by 2 root 2 and this is x by 2 root 3. So we split this up children as 2 times 2 times root 2 times root 3 upon root 2 plus root 3. Initially children will take x by root 2 down, so x upon 2 root 2 down. That leaves us with 2 root 3 upon root 2 plus root 3. And on the other side children, we will take x upon 2 root 3 down. So we will be left with 2 root 2 upon root 2 plus root 3. Now children, the obvious step is to component dividend on both sides, so that we get the value of this and the value of this and we can add it. So it's numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is equal to same thing on the other side. Which gives us 3 root 3 plus root 2 upon root 3 minus root 2. That's the value on one side. On the other side children, we get numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is equal to numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator. That gives us 3 root 2 plus root 3 upon root 2 minus root 3. That's by componendo and dividendo. And dividendo. Once we have this children, now we add the two values, that's x plus 2 root 2 upon x minus 2 root 2 is equal to 3 root 3 plus root 2 upon root 3 minus root 2 plus 3 root 2 plus root 3 upon root 2 minus root 3, which we can change children. We change this and make this sign minus, so that this becomes root 3 minus root 2. That's root 3 minus root 2, 3 root 3 plus root 2 minus root 3 minus root 2, 3 root 3 plus root 2. That gives us, on simplification, the LCM children be the same, so it'd be root 3 minus root 2, 3 root 3 plus root 2 minus 3 root 3 minus 3 root 2 plus root 3, 3 root 2 minus root 3. That children, that gives us 3 root 3 minus root 3 as 2 root 3 minus plus root 2 and minus 3 root 2 would be minus 2 root 2 children. So that's 2 taken common, root 2, and this becomes root 3 minus root 2 cancels to give us 2 as the value of this expression children. With this we end the section children. Thank you.